So they said this piece was another hit job on the Warrior, the deck side of the ring. I heard that they tore him apart. Let me see, what is it called? This guy did a review. Some Warrior hit job. Yep. By DarkSide of the ring. Disgraceful. Yeah. So that basically, like that video they had, DVD they had back in the day, self-destruction of the Warrior. I was like, don't start that shit again, because they cleared all that up and they're supposed to be good now. So how about still picking at the man? And now picking at him and he's gone. That's jacked up. Fucked up. Let me see what this guy's talking about.
Boy, let me tell you guys something. Normally I start off saying welcome you into the show, but I'm going to tell you right now, the disappointment and the sickening feeling I have in my stomach after watching DarkSide of the Ring on the Ultimate Warrior, and they're going.
And I didn't get to see it because it's not on the channel and nobody uploaded it either, so I didn't get to see it. And I probably just would have made me mad. So just leave it alone. See his review or whatever it is, how this guy felt about it.
And then I wanted to compare what A&E's biography did, because it came out in the same week about the Ultimate Warrior. I'm pretty hot right now, and I'm trying to hold it together because I just finished watching A&E.
Oh, I forgot about that. There was two of them. Yeah, I didn't see that one either, because I don't think A&E. A lot of these channels don't upload the stuff till it's real old, so I didn't see that neither. But I heard that one was better. A&E version.
I watched DarkSide of the Ring Ultimate Warrior this morning. And then I wanted to watch the A&E documentary on him as well. And I got to watch the A&E documentary. And I'm going to tell you something right now. You want to talk about a hit job. My God. Conrad Thompson comes out there on Twitter complaining about what they did with Randy Savage on A&E. What did the DarkSide of the Ring do with the Ultimate Warrior? You want to talk about a hit job? Everyone's a hit job. It starts out negative. It starts out down talking the Ultimate Warrior. Doesn't brag up anything. Doesn't give him any credit on anything. Just tears him down the whole flipping episode. Everything successful that he did, bring him down. You don't talk to his widowed wife. You talk to his ex-wife, by the way. His first wife. Which there's nothing wrong with that if you're going to have the widowed wife, and you're going to have his children be able to defend this man, because the man's dead. I'm not a big fan of talking to someone who's passed away, especially bringing up a bunch of dirt, and I know what DarkSide of the Ring is. My God, I watched the Bruiser Brody. I watched all that stuff. I've watched DarkSide of the Ring, and I've enjoyed the show, but what they did with the Ultimate Warrior, when you get to sit down and compare it to what they did on A&E with the Ultimate Warrior, let me tell you the big difference here, okay? And as always, if you like this content, hit the like, hit that subscribe button. I'm just going to be 100% real with everybody. I am so sick to my stomach after watching what the DarkSide of the Ring did with the Ultimate Warrior. Now, one of the big differences, DarkSide of the Ring did have Jake the Snake Roberts on there, did have Jim Ross on there, did have Jim Cornette on there.
I seen piece.
It had Eric Bischoff talking on there.
I saw the only thing I seen was like the preview, and they were ripping them apart then. But I'm glad when they had that stupid. Oh boy, I'll never forget that DVD, that Self-Destruction. I think it was a few months later. 'Cause I had both of them. I had the Self-Destruction, and a few months later, he made a DVD. This was in '05 or something like that. Then he made a shoot DVD telling his part, and it's on YouTube if you want to look it up. That was sickening. He told his part, and he had to get some people straight. So, but yeah, that was I don't know about just picking at him again, and I thought that they squashed it, but they still went to picking.
Ultimate Warrior. All of these guys, though, tore the Ultimate Warrior down. At least on the A&E, when they talked about his success, they bragged him up, and then they would show you what was going on behind the scenes to back up what they were saying. So there was a lot of comparisons that was made. There was there was the good with the bad with A&E. And a lot of the storytelling that they told about how the Ultimate Warrior came into the business and how the Ultimate Warrior would be fired the first time around, by the way. On the Dark Side of the Ring, it was said that, Jake the Snake Roberts was going to get his title chance. He runs out of the ring chasing down the Sheik with the chair. And Mustafa with the chair. And he gets back there and Vince McMahon says, "You're fired. By the way, pal, you're fired." After that letter that Ultimate Warrior sent to Vince McMahon wanting to be paid as Hulk Hogan. This very letter lined up what was on A&E. The same letter. They showed things, the documentation. So all that stuff gelled together. It was a true story. And then it showed, but it said in the A&E that Vince McMahon actually handed him a letter when he got backstage saying he was going to be suspended for a minimum of 90 days. Then they bring him back again, back in 92, I believe, and it didn't work out. So the Ultimate Warrior came back like 3 times through the WWE. When the whole steroids thing happened, the A&E really broke down the steroid case. The steroid case wasn't even mentioned in the Dark Side of the Ring, and the Dark Side of the Ring was really recovering.
That's what you said. They brought him back again. He cut the hair short, and he was small, and people thought it was somebody else. I even said that it don't look like the Warrior, because the Warrior from '89 or '90, he was huge, and I was like, this ain't no Warrior. And people back then were saying he was gone, but it was him. He just cut the hair short, and he was smaller. It was him, though.
The steroid propaganda. So why would they not include that in the Dark Side of the Ring documentary, that the Ultimate Warrior was brought back during that from his suspension, that Vince McMahon gave him a second chance, and it just didn't work out, so he let him go. But then Vince helped him a third time, and it didn't work out when he wanted to be a comic book. They only went straight to the comic book stuff, and they down-talked that. They down-talked everything. I'm telling you right now, I am fired up, and I'm so sick to my stomach. I know I keep repeating myself. I'm going to tell you right now, guys, if you haven't seen Dark Side of the Ring, I'm not discouraging you from seeing it, but I'm just going to tell you right now, if you want to see a true documentary on the Ultimate Warrior, by God, you better watch A&E, because A&E didn't hold back no punches. They showed the good, but they showed the bad. And it did line up with what Dark Side of the Ring, but the Dark Side of the Ring showed nothing good about the Ultimate Warrior. Hardly anything good about the Ultimate Warrior. When they did, boy, they had a bunch of negatives to go right with it. They had no problem burying this poor guy that's dead. They can't defend himself. His widowed wife wasn't able to defend him. His kids wasn't able to defend him. His friends wasn't able to defend him. You had his enemies, the guys that didn't think very highly of him, talking about him. If you're going to do a documentary about a man that's dead that can't defend himself, by God, you better be unbiased. Dark Side of the Ring, Conrad Thompson, who's involved in Dark Side of the Ring with the guys that create it and has a podcast with them and talks about them, you're gonna talk about the Macho Man Randy Savage, the A&E documentary, and I agree with you. It probably was a little bit of a hit job the way it did it, but they did show the highlights of Macho Man's career. And A&E did show the highlights of the Ultimate Warrior's career, but they also showed what went on after his WWE career with his wanting to be a conservative, talking and saying the things that he shouldn't have been saying in a public aspect. Showing the mental downfall, how he looked at Vince McMahon most likely, how rough his childhood is. They didn't go into that in the Dark Side of the Ring. They didn't tell you about how bad his childhood was, that his father had left him at such a young age. At least A&E reached out to his mother to defend him, to try and give you an understanding maybe what he was thinking inside his head. Anyone who doesn't have a parent, whether it's a mom or a dad, they're going to struggle with having that acceptance from somebody of the same sex that, if you didn't have a father figure growing up, and I'm not going to sit there and pretend like I relate, so someone who has had this experience, please, explain in the comments, how it makes you feel, that you are looking for that acceptance of someone to be your guardian, whether you want to look to him as a father figure or not, someone that you can look up to if you don't have a father in your life, someone you can put up there that says, this is who I feel accepted by, this is who I want to please, this is who is my example of what to be an adult is like. Same with the mother, if you grew up without a mother. But the fact that they completely tarnished the name of the Ultimate Warrior on Dark Side of the Ring, where is your credibility? when you look at what A&E was able to do, you want to compare these two, by the way. I want everybody to not just watch Dark Side of the Ring, but watch A&E. But don't just watch A&E, watch Dark Side of the Ring and compare, and you see what I mean. A lot of the stories lined up, but there's a lot of things that was left out of Dark Side of the Ring that was not left out in the A&E documentary. I'm fired up right now. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I was the huge Ultimate Warrior fan. No, I wasn't a huge Ultimate Warrior fan. Even when he got inducted to the Hall of Fame, I didn't know if he really deserved to be in the Hall of Fame at that time.
But you talking like a Warrior fan now. You're hot.
It doesn't take away the fact that
You're madder than me up here.
There's nothing short. Matter of fact, if you went in the dictionary and looked up hit job, it was a hit job. Pure and simple to the point. They ruined that man. They tried to do everything they could to ruin this man's legacy. Once again, a man that can't defend himself. At all. And then you don't bring nobody on to defend him. The most positive thing that happened on there was when the ex-wife did talk about him some. And when Jake the Snake Roberts said, Ultimate Warrior came over to apologize for all the things he had done. Sick to my stomach, folks. Extremely disappointed. Extremely upset. A&E, if anybody from A&E sees this, my hat's off to you for doing a documentary on somebody, and you did hit all the negative aspects of it, but you explained it out. You showed from what the best of the knowledge that you could gain what was really going on without talking to the man. My hat is off to you. And to his wife, his widowed wife, for her to give you the explanation of what happened at his death and how guilty she feels about leaving the kids in the room because she was trying to protect them, but not realizing that she might have robbed them from the last moments with their father when he was sick and going to the hospital. My hat's off to you guys. Seriously. Way to go, A&E. Dark Side of the Ring. Yeah. I don't know what else I can really say about Dark Side of the Ring other than fantastic hit job piece, by the way. Way to really help your credibility with lazy research and leaving a lot of information out that shouldn't have been left out. Great job. You really knew how to bury a man. I'll give you that. You buried a man who was already buried.
That's dirty.
I'm out, guys.
That's dirty there. That's some cold shit there. Damn. I'm glad I didn't pitch. It probably would have pissed me off looking at some shit like that. Damn.